Yes guys, this is Nearly Last and welcome. In this video what we're going to be doing is carrying on my stealth class setups where we're mainly focusing around the ghost perk and how best to use it effectively in Black Ops 3. This time guys we're going to be concentrating once again on the SMG category, moving away from the Cooler and onto the Razorback. Now this kind of class setup for me is probably up there with one of my favourites for the kind of stealth class setups. This works extremely well, it really does. The Cooler for me is probably on par, but this particular one is just as good. Now, with the actual Razorback, as we know, it's got a bit of a love and hate relationship with certain people, mainly due to the fact of its lack of damage. It does work extremely effectively in those long range engagements, but the damage does pretty much lack, especially when you get up into close quarters if you're coming up against anything like a VMP or anything else like that. But I still quite enjoy it. I still think it can compete. The damage sometimes can be a bit more noticeable once you get up in those close quarter situations if you're coming up against anyone with those type of weapons that I just mentioned. But for me, it still does work well. So with the kind of attachments that we're going to be going with, we're going to be sticking on grip. Obviously, this is going to be help with recoil, so we can help with those longer range engagements. Then we're going to be going with suppressor. Obviously, as you can see, that's going to keep us off the mini-map and how we use it with ghosts. Then we're going to be going with stock as well. Now, stock is just to make sure that we're as highly mobile as we possibly can, strafing in and out of gunfire. Especially on maps like this. I mean, if you get caught out into those medium and long range engagements, you won't be able to strafe in and out of gunfire, making sure that you don't get killed very easily. So this is going to be helping you out no end. Not going to bother with long barrel. Obviously, that's going to help with your long range, especially when you're running a suppressor. But because the range on this particular weapon is brilliant, you don't need to worry about it whatsoever. The drop-off point is really not that bad. I honestly could say when I was running around, especially playing on a map this size, I didn't really have any problems with it whatsoever. And obviously then quick draw, that does help you out in those closer quarter engagements and everything else. But for me with this kind of class set, I felt quite easy just to leave it alone. Stick on stock, maybe coming up into your sights like that as you come around corners. I found that to work a lot better, and then worrying about having quick draw on. So then we're going to be moving on into the perks. Now the perks, obviously perk 1 we're going to have Ghost. Then we're going to be going with Hardwired. Now with Hardwired, we're going to be immune to counter UAV, power cores, EMP grenades, you know, C4 charges, everything. I mean, even people that are trying to run 6th Sense. I mean, this is going to make us, get my words out, as invisible as we possibly can. I mean, we can come up into little buildings like this if everyone's trying to lay out like little mines or anything else like that to try and warn them that we're actually coming. They are not going to know that we're on our way. And because we're highly mobile, we're going to be keeping off that UAV all the time, off their mini-map, and it's going to be very easily. So then we're going to be moving into perk 3. Now this is going to highlight this even more once we have dead silence on, sticking that wild card on, and then going with blast suppressor. So we can basically have our footstep silence. As we know, I've said in previous videos, awareness is not quite the greatest. Once someone's running with dead silence, I mean, you're pretty much invisible most of the time. Then we got blast suppressor as well, so which means you can boost, jump in, come into any particular windows up through here or anything else like that, and people have not got a clue. And as you can see guys, I went to absolute town in this gameplay. I got up to I got 3 sets of R.A.P.S, everything. I mean, it was absolutely epic. And if it works on this kind of map as well, especially with these longer range of sites, you can go to town on anything like Combine, Nuketown, anything else like that. So guys, coming up on your screen now is going to be the class setup for you guys to go and just double check, pause it, put it in memory. Guys, stick this in your creator class, give it a couple of goes, and I promise you one thing, you will have an absolute field day with this. But anyway guys, coming up on my screen now is going to be my subscribe button. Hope everyone found all of this useful. Make sure you're going to be hitting that, and guys, if you drop a like on this video and support my channel, it'd be even better. This is Nearly Last, and I'll catch you later.